Hi students, welcome to EduStar video session. This is class 11 chemistry and you are with me in the part 3 of the unit some basic concepts of chemistry. In the previous video itself we have discussed about mole. Mole is nothing but the amount of substance present in 12 gram of carbon 12 isotope. In other hands we can equate mole with the Avogadro number. What is Avogadro number? 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 is the Avogadro number. Example, the molar mass of water is 18. Okay, so this will be equal to 1 mole. Whatever may be the substance, the mole of the particular substance is directly equal to the molar mass of the compound. Similarly, if we take any example, the molar mass will be exactly equal to 1 mole. Suppose for sodium hydroxide, the molar mass is 40. That means 40 grams of sodium hydroxide contains 1 mole, that is 1 mole of particles. Okay, now let us move on to percentage composition. What is percentage composition? This is the percentage of elements present in the compound, that is called as the percentage composition. For example, consider this magnesium carbonate. Here the magnesium have 28%. Carbon contains 14%. Oxygen have 56.9%. This is the percentage of the particular elements in the compound magnesium carbonate. How to find this percentage composition? There is a formula for it. This is a formula. Mass percentage of the element is equal to mass of that element in the compound divided by molar mass of the compound. First, we have to find out the molar mass of the compound. This is for the sodium sulfate. Sodium sulfate formula is Na2SO4. There are 2 sodium atoms, so 2 into 23. 23 is the atomic weight of sodium, and for sulfur 32, and for oxygen there are 4 oxygen atoms, so 4 into 16. So on adding all these things we get 142. Okay. Now we are going to find the mass percentage of sodium. 2 into 23, that is 46. 46 divided by molar mass of the compound 142 into 100 gives 32.39%. Similarly, we find out for sulfur 32 divided by 142. Similarly, for oxygen, that is 4 into 16 gives 64 divided by 142 into 100. 45%. This is the method for identifying the percentage composition of various compounds. Now this is the moles of volume. Just see an equation. In this equation, the coefficient. What are the coefficient? Coefficients are the numbers present before either reactants or products. That is the moles. For this, there is only 1 carbon. That means 1 mole. Here oxygen 1 mole. That means only 1 oxygen is there, so it is considered as 1 mole. The product is carbon dioxide, that too 1 molecule of carbon dioxide, so it is called as the 1 carbon dioxide. Shall we consider a reaction? Hydrogen. What is the difference between the empirical and molecular formula? Empirical formula is the one in simplest form. Molecular formula is the actual formula. To know the differences between the empirical and molecular formula, see in this slide, what is the formula? What is the compound C6H6? Do you remember? This is benzene, right? So this is the actual molecular formula. If we cut the 6 C6H6 by 6, we get CH, right? That means cutting down into any simpler form, that is called as the empirical formula. So empirical formula is the simplest formula and molecular formula is the actual formula. So we have to find out this empirical and molecular formula. How to find out this? For calculating a empirical formula, first whatever the percentage, just now we have find out the percentage composition, right? The percentage composition is considered as the grams. It means, suppose if there is 4% of hydrogen, means we have to consider it as a 4 gram of oxygen. Suppose there is 60% of carbon, means we have to consider that as the 60 gram. The first step is that the percentage should be considered as grams. That is the first step number 1. In the second step, we have to do the calculation of moles. Okay, so for these illustrating these two things, I have to go with an example. Look at this. This is a empirical formula for the adipic acid. In this empirical formula for the adipic acid, they have given the formula mass. The empirical formula can also be called as the formula mass. Here they have given the empirical formula. I have calculated the molecular mass for that particular empirical formula. It is 73 grams. In the second step, I have divided the molecular mass by the empirical formula. So the molecular formula mass is already given in the question itself, 146 gram. That is the molecular mass they have given. So on substituting the molecular mass divided by the empirical formula mass, I am getting the number 2. This 2 should be multiplied with that of the empirical formula. This is the empirical formula mass which they have given in the problem. See in the problem, C3H5O2. This is the empirical formula mass. The empirical formula mass into 2. How we get this 2? This is obtained by dividing the molecular formula by empirical formula mass. So on multiplying these things, we find out the molecular formula. Now going to the detailed explanation of our finding the empirical formula. See this is a problem. A compound contains 4% of hydrogen, 24 point something percentage of carbon, 71 point something percentage of chlorine. In the first step, we have to consider all these percentages gram. That is 4 grams of hydrogen, 24.27 gram of carbon, 71.6 gram of chlorine. Likewise, we have to consider this is the step number 1. In the step number 2, we are going to find out the moles. What is the moles? Moles is nothing but the weight divided by molar mass, molecular weight. That is called as the mole. Here the weight of hydrogen is given as 4 divided by the molecular weight of hydrogen is 1. Okay, so we have find out the moles, 4.04. Finding the moles of carbon, there is 24 grams of carbon divided by the molecular weight of carbon 12. So we are getting 2. Similarly, we have find out for chlorine. This is also 2. After this, you have to find which is the least number. Among there are 3 moles, right? One is 4 and another one is 2 and another one is 2, right? In this 3 moles, which one is very small, least number? The 2 is the least number. So we have to divide all the moles by this least number. Means the 4.04 should be divided by 2.021. Similarly for carbon also we have to divide it by 2.021. Similarly for chlorine also we have to divide it by 2.021. Okay, so what we will be getting, there will be, if we divide 4 by 2, roughly we will get 2, right? For carbon we will be getting 1 and for chlorine we will be getting 1, right? So those things I have written like this, 2:1:1. Okay, so what is the 2? 2 is the hydrogen. 2 here carbon is 1 and chlorine is also 1. Just we have seen it, right? So CH2Cl, this is the empirical formula. This is the method to find out the empirical formula. If they have given the molecular formula mass, then we can find the molecular formula also. Okay. Now this is another one problem. There are carbon 34.6, hydrogen 3.85, oxygen 61.55%. So in the first step we have considered everything as the gram, and in the next step we have find out the moles 2.88, 3.85, 3.85. Here the least number is 1, right? So on dividing this 1 by 1.337, if it is a decimal like this, we can convert into fraction. On by having this fraction, this denominator, that is 4 by 3, this denominator comes into the part of the other element, 3, 4, 4. So the formula is C3H4O4. Okay. Now balancing the chemical equation. So the things which are given in the left hand side are considered as reactant, and the things which are given in the right hand side are considered as the product. This you may be familiar with it. Coefficient. Coefficient means the numbers which are present just before any reactant or product is called as the coefficient. Subscript means any numbers present at the subscript of a compound. Suppose H2O, we are writing H2O. Here the 2 is the subscript. Suppose I am writing 3. This 3 is called as the coefficient. Okay, clear? Now these are some of the symbols. You may be familiar with it. Again I am repeating. The L in a bracket indicates that the substance is in liquid state. G means the substance is in gaseous state. AQ, that means the substance is dissolved in water. If it is a triangle shape, we are heating the thing. So this, just now I have said the reactants, coefficient and those things. Now there are some hints to balance a chemical equation. Whenever you are trying to balance a chemical equation, just adjust the coefficient. That is, you have to adjust only the numbers present just before the reactants or product, and you shouldn't touch the subscript numbers. This is a rule number 1. If the coefficient are either even or odd, it may be anything. In order to make it even, you can multiply by just 2 or like that. If it is any polyatomic ions, means you should consider this as a single unit and you shouldn't touch it. So these things are given in these slides. Just go through it. Now one simple example, nitrogen plus hydrogen giving ammonia. Okay, here how many nitrogens are present in the reactant side? There are 2 nitrogens. So I am putting 2 in the product side. After this, what happens to the hydrogen? 3 into 2, 6 hydrogens are there. Here only 2 hydrogens are there. So I am putting 3 in the reactant side so that the reaction is balanced. Here it's okay. The next thing, zinc plus HCl giving zinc chloride. Here zinc is only one present in reactant side and only 1 present in product side. So zinc is already balanced. Coming to the chlorine, here there are 2 chlorine atoms. So I am putting 2 here. After putting 2 here, hydrogen becomes 2. Here also hydrogen is 2. So the equation is just balanced. Right? Now another one example, C3H8. To the next equation, Fe plus O2 giving Fe2O3. There are 2 iron atoms in the product side. So I am putting 2 here. And in case of oxygen, there are 3. So I am adding 3 here. After adding 3, 3 to 6 oxygens are present in the reactant side. So I am adding 2 in the product side. Now iron becomes 2 2s are 4. So I am erasing this 2 and make it as 4. Now the reaction is get balanced. See, listen students, this balancing the equation is just a skill. You have to develop it. Just like cooking a dish, by hearing the methods itself, you won't be familiar with the balancing the equation. You have to work hard and you have to practice more for attaining the skill. But surely you will attain it if you practice more and more. Okay. Now let us move on to the mole fraction. What is mole fraction? Mole fraction is the number of moles of the component divided by total number of moles of the all component. Here in the numerator of the component means, suppose if there are A, B, C, three components means mole fraction of A, you have to write the mole of A at the numerator and the remaining A, B, C moles are added in the denominator. This is the meaning for the mole fraction, right? Remember, mole fraction doesn't have any unit. This is a problem based on the mole fraction. This is ethylene glycol. They have given the formula and there is 20% of ethylene glycol by mass. 20% means that is 20 gram. Okay, the molar mass of ethylene glycol is just on adding the atomic weight, we will be getting 62 gram. 62 gram per mole. Now we are going to find the moles. What is the mole of ethylene glycol? Here in ethylene glycol, 20 gram is ethylene glycol divided by 62, we are getting 0.322 mole. Here in the problem they have given in the solution. So the another one component is considered as water. So 20% ethylene glycol means the remaining should be water. So 100 minus 20 is 80 gram. What is the molecular mass of water? 18. So 80 divided by 18, we are getting 4.444 mole. First we are finding the mole fraction of ethylene glycol. Mole fraction is indicated by the letter X. So mole fraction of glycol, moles of ethylene glycol. What is the moles of ethylene glycol? We have just to find out this 0.322 moles divided by this 62. Sorry, divided by moles of ethylene glycol, and moles of water. So these two things we have to add it in the denominator. Similarly, for water we have to put the 4.44 in the numerator and the 0.322 and 4.44 in the denominator. By this we can find out the mole fraction. Remember, suppose 3 or 4 components may be present in a solution or any other thing. There all the mole fraction, on adding all the mole fractions, we should get number 1. We should get number 1. So mole fraction of all the components should be equal to 1. This should be kept in mind. Okay. The next thing, molarity. What is molarity? Moles of solute. Moles of solute divided by volume of solution in liter, that is N divided by V. Since this have a volume factor in the formula itself, molarity depends on temperature. Why I am saying molarity depends on temperature? Since if we give temperature to any solvent or solution means definitely it will get evaporate, so that the volume will be get increased. So the temperature will always influence the volume. So molarity is the thing which is actually depend on the temperature. Remember the formula N by V. Now this is a problem 1. What is the concentration of sugar? Normal sugar molecule, if it is 20 gram dissolved in enough water to make a final volume of up to 2 liter. So they have taken some quantity of sugar and they dissolved in 2 liters. So the molar mass, what is the formula? N by V, right? So N is the moles. The moles we have to find it out. For finding the mole, we need weight. Weight is already given as 20 gram. The molar mass of sugar is 342. So 20 divided by 342 itself, we gives the mole. So on substituting in the molarity formula, so 0.585 divided by the volume is given as 2 liters, then we can get the value 0.0293 M. Remember, molarity symbol is capital M. Okay. Now the next thing, another one problem based on molarity. If the density of methanol, here they didn't give the mass, but instead they given the density. So with the help of density itself we can find out the rest of the things, right? So the density of methanol is given in the 0.793 kilogram. They have used the unit kilogram. What is the volume needed for making 2.5 liter of its 0.25 molar solution? So they have given the density. Instead of giving the volume, they have given the density. They are asking you to find the volume required for making 2.5 liters with a particular molarity concentration. If these kind of problems are asked, that is the solution is make up into 2 liters, make up into some quantities, or the solution is diluted, likewise the problem is asked, means the formula is this one. You may be familiar with this formula I think, that is normality. For finding the normality itself, we are using the V1N1 is equal to V2N2. This is a familiar formula for for titrations, and so the same formula is applied here also. M1 into V1 equal to M2 V2. Here the M1 stands for molarity of solution 1 and M2 stands for the molarity of solution 2, and V1 is the volume of first solution and V2 is the volume of second solution. Okay, here the 1 is taken as the given solution and 2 is the solution to be prepared. So now first find out the molar mass of methanol. So what is the molar mass of methanol? CH3OH is the formula. So we have find it out, 32 gram per mole. Since the density is given in kg, I am also making this gram per mole into kg just by multiplying it with 10 to the power of 3. Okay. So the next thing I am going to apply in the molarity formula. So for finding the molarity formula, the density is given. I am taking the density divided by the molar mass of the methanol. I am getting the molarity. Okay. Now the 24.78 is the molarity of the first solution. We didn't know the volume of this. For the second solution, they have given the volume factor and they have also given the molarity. So these two things are given already. So on 3 quantities are given, means the fourth quantity can be easily find out. So this is the answer, 25.22 ml of solution is required. Now moving to the molality. What is molality? Molality formula is moles of solute divided by mass of solvent in kg. So here the solvent is expressed in kg. You keep this in mind. Molality, little. What is little? So little m is the expression or a symbol for molality. Now there is a problem based on this. Calculate molality of 2.5 gram of ethanoic acid in 75 gram of benzene. So this is a solute and this is a solvent. So the solvent is itself a solid one. So the 75 gram should be in the denominator, but remember this is given in gram, but we have to apply this in kg. So 75 gram per 1000 kg, we are getting this 10 to the power 75 into 10 to the power of -3, and this is going to be in the denominator. In the top most numerator we have to put the moles. So for moles, 2.5 gram divided by the molar mass of the ethanoic acid is 60 gram. 2.5 divided by 60, we are getting the moles. So the moles divided by the mass of solvent in kg. So and doing these things, we are getting the answer like this, 0.556 mole per kg. The next thing is limiting reagent. So this is an interesting topic. Suppose consider there is a bowl, 3 bowls of sambar. Your mother have prepared 3 bowls of sambar and she have given only 1 tablespoon of rice. So how much sambar will be consumed? Until the rice consumed, you will use the sambar. After that, the sambar will remains as it is, right? Similarly, in the reaction, a limiting reagent will be there. So the reagent which is present in the least quantity will be the deciding factor or will be the limiting reagent. In the case of 3 bowls of sambar and 1 tablespoon of rice, the rice is the limiting reagent since it is present in the less amount. Similarly, here consider in this reaction, this is reaction 2 aluminium plus 6 HCl. Here aluminium is present just only 2 moles. That means here the aluminium is going to be the limiting reagent. Until 2 aluminium is present, all other reactants are taken in excess, means those will be limited by the reagent present here. Okay, now this is the another one interesting problem with respect to that of the moles of volume. Assume they are asking you to find out for 3 moles of ethane the number of moles of carbon atoms. Here in the case of ethane molecule, what is the formula? C2H6. There are 2 carbon atoms, right? So 1 mole of ethane contains 2 moles of carbon atom. For 3 moles, how much? So 3 into 2, 6 moles, right? They have asked for hydrogen atoms. How many hydrogen atoms are there? 6 hydrogen atoms. That means 6 moles. For 3 moles means 3 into 16 giving 18 moles. The next thing they have asked, third question, number of molecules of ethane. Molecules means we have to multiply it with the Avogadro number. That is the trick. So 3 moles means 3 into 6.02 into 10 to the power of 23. We are getting this number. So this is the amount of substance present in 3 moles. Right. So with this, the first unit is get finished. I am leaving my session and we will be meeting you in the next unit. Thank you.